So, oops, my glue. 1 second. Okay. So today we're learning berachos 61a and 61b. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter a word before God. For God is in heaven, and you are upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. That's from Ecclesiastes, or koheles 5:1. Rabbi Yochanan said it's preferable to walk behind a lion and not a woman, and preferable to walk behind a woman and not behind idolatry, and preferable to walk behind idolatry and not behind a synagogue when the congregation is praying. The kidneys advise, the heart understands, the tongue shapes the sounds that emerges from the mouth completes the shaping of the voice, the esophagus takes in and lets out all kinds of foods. The trachea produces voice, and the lungs draw all kinds of liquids. The liver becomes angry, the gallbladder the gallbladder injects a drop of gall into the liver and allays anger. The spleen laughs, the maw grinds the food, the stomach brings the sleep, the nose awakens. If they reverse roles such that the organ which awakens were to bring sleep, the individual would gradually deteriorate. It was taught that if both bring sleep and both awaken, the person immediately dies. Rav said the evil inclination is like a fly, and it sits between the two entrances of the heart. A person has two kidneys. One advises him to do good, and one advises him to do evil. The one that advises him to do good is his right, and the one that advises him to do evil is his left. A wise man's understanding is at his right hand, but a fool's understanding is at his left. That's what it says in koheles, Ecclesiastes 10:2. A fox was walking along a riverbank and saw a fish gathering and fleeing from a place to place. So the fox asked, "From what are you fleeing?" They answered, "We're fleeing from the nets that the people has cast on us." The fox said, "Do you wish to come upon dry land? We'll reside together, just as my ancestors resided with your ancestors." And the fish answered, "You are the one whom they say is the cleverest of all the animals. You're not clever, you're a fool. If we're afraid in the water, our natural habitat, which gives us life, then in the habitat which causes our death, all the more so." So Elan Golomb writes in the book Trapped in the Mirror, Adult Children of Narcissists and Their Struggle for Self, that the child of a narcissist has rejection for his or her birthright. Because a narcissist parent unconsciously despises him or herself due to their parents' rejection of them, she or he cannot accept their kids. Their attitudes are varying of, "I wouldn't join any club that would have me as a member," which is like, as you might know, Groucho Marx, as, "I wouldn't love any child that would have me as a parent." Thus, the narcissist parent is the most demanding, deforming of the child she or he strongly identifies with, like the one most identified with. Then in the metsudah, pirkei Avos, and we actually start, pirkei Avos is the ethics of the fathers. And pretty much now is about the time of the year that we start to learn pirkei Avos. We just did the first week. It's 6 chapters. And it's what we call Mishnah. It's actually from the Talmud, but it's written specifically in this way, and it's supposed to help us to prepare to be able to get the Torah coming up in a few weeks. And pretty much each person, we learn. It's like ethics of the fathers. That's what it's really called. So it's like something that we learn to prepare us to become, right. right, like righteous in terms of being right for the Torah. So in the metsudah pirkei Avos by Rabbi Avraham David, it says a devoted friend is important for 3 reasons. So this is a pirkei Avos where there's a lot of interpretation, commentary. So it's not just the straight text. It's a lot of opinions and ideas and combinations and I don't want to call it combinations. A lot of like midrashim, like it's really commentary, but like hints and allusions and fleshing it out kind of. So for the study, so a devoted friend is important for 3 reasons. 1, the study of Torah. The Talmud says in taanis 7a, I've learned much from my teachers, but even more from my companions. 2, for the fulfillment of the mitzvah, since each will remind the other of his or her obligations, and they will inspire one another to repent should they sin. 3, for advice and counsel in all matters that they'll be able to confide freely and openly in one another with feelings of mutual trust. That's from Rabbeinu Yonah. Bertinero says, don't associate with a wicked man. Can be made significantly appropriate when we see that it's like the person who leaves a tannery that carries a bad odor with him, even though he took nothing. In Proverbs, Mishlei by Shlomo Melech 28:14, it says, fortunate is the man who fears. Don't let anything give false security when based on, for example, possessions, people, places. It's temporary. It could be taken and lost. It's not good. In Proverbs Mishlei, it says, he who loves gifts causes his life to be shortened. And this from Rashi and Rambam, it says, it's not good to depend on gifts or charity, which can only diminish one's life. It says by Rabbeinu Yonah that a person should not abstain from work because idleness brings depression, and one can earn his livelihood in 3 ways. 1, with his body, physical labor. 2, with his money in business. And 3, with his intellect through teaching. The Mishnah teaches a person should learn to love physical labor because it is the most conducive for bringing tranquility and happiness. There's much heartache and frustration in teaching, and dishonesty is common in business. That's from tiferet yisroel. It says, let no man regard himself as too important and exalted to engage in work. As Rav said to Rabbi Kahana, if necessary, earn your living by dressing highs in the marketplace. Don't say I'm a kohen, a priest, I'm a great man, and such works beneath me. That's from Pesachim 1:14a. Better, in Mishlei, Proverbs 12:9, it says, better is he that is less esteemed and has a servant than a man of rank who has no bread. This is from Rabbeinu Yonah and Bertinero. And we have 2 more, 2 or 3. Okay, next we have, this is called Tools for Business. It's from the group Debtors Anonymous, DA. I don't consider myself a member, but I did attend meetings for a brief period. 1, keep separate professional, personal, financial records and bank accounts. 2, write 1-year annual business plans with definable and accountable goals. 3, keep orderly, clean, accurate financial records, including accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash on hand, assets, inventory, and outstanding debts, and put all tax bill due dates on the calendar. Tax and bills due dates. 4, pay self a salary, including benefits, medical insurance, vacations, sick days. 5, remain mindful that dollars spent should generate revenue and compare prices before making purchases. 6, maintain clarity about overhead and profit margins of every product or service we sell. 7, pay all bills and invoice clients properly. 8, put all business agreements in writing and write our own letters of agreements. 9, notice the competition, but don't worry about it. Learn from competitors. Trust that there's an abundant universe with more than enough for everyone. 10, detach from difficult personalities and poor paying clients and put principles before personalities. 11, bookend before and after making commitments and difficult business decisions or actions. Bookend means you talk to someone, get some inspiration, get in the right headspace before and after. 12, we are willing to be in charge of and responsible for our business, professionals who work for us, such as accountants. We are willing to be responsible for our business. Professionals who work for us, such as accountants, lawyers, or consultants, are not our higher power. And I wanted to share, there's this thing about, I'm the first in my family. So I wrote a list, and I recommend you try it. This is a practice. To heal the issues with money via spiritual economics, to be in therapy programs, therapy camp, to be in recovery, whether it's 12 steps from trauma, to not have been married and a mom at 33. I'm now 34, but I wrote this at 33 years old. To have been exploring other religions, to be a Baal Tshuva after being non-Torah observant, to have tattoos, to have gotten piercings, hair dyed, and so on, to focus on studying Torah as often as possible and revolving around the learning, to have become a conscious consumer with food, whether it's vegetarian, vegan, or plant-based, to be very clean, hygienic, and sanitary, and to live an alternative lifestyle, like not a regular job. And next, regarding judgment from others, it's not, I wrote this personally. It's not my business, it's a few months ago, it's not my business if others have opinions or make assumptions or analyze me based on their own values and experiences. I learned that if people want to judge, they will. And if they don't want to, they won't. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I think earlier in life when I was emotionally sick, or I believed I could control what others thought of me, or because of the way I was raised, I thought maybe I could prove my innocence, but it just made me exhausted, and it was not successful anyway. Although I've learned the hard way that many people can't turn the judgment part of their brain off because they had very judgmental parents, they internalize the critical way of perceiving life and people, and they're helplessly stuck in a fault-finding cycle. I actually pity such people now because they're doing to me what they had to live with in their head all the time and don't know another way. Those people need compassion most of all. This is all based on a talk I had with Esther when she said, "I don't judge you, don't worry." All right, okay, I think that's all for today. So wish you all the best. We're going to be taking a break for a couple days because it's Rosh Chodesh, the new month. I wish us in this new month to stay wild and blossom and connect with our vitality, with our body, but to bring the blossoming of our body, our vitality, our spirit, our soul breath, and of course the life and the oneness, and to be able to do everything l'shem yichud, and for this month to be all about healing and love and new opportunities, to start working on starting a family, letting go of the old stuff, and recognizing it feels like home inside first, to radiate home, to be healthy and supportive, to have clear boundaries with work and with and being able and not being afraid of work, and to get in shape and to pray in a clean, wholesome way, and to continue to break the boundaries as we move forward in our progress, and to not be in debt, and actually to just healthy discipline in work, relations, family, business, and to feel worthy, to feel worthy of the love, and to feel beloved, to feel cared about, not to interpret things as, in the wrong way, and not to be abusive to ourselves or others. Amen. Can you hear it? So, and wish you a good month. Bye.